All right, guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So, things are heating up in our country big time over this whole Israel versus Hamas, Palestine. I could go on with the list, and I could go on with who's at fault, who's not at fault. You know what? I don't care who's at fault, who's not at fault, and I know most of y'all will be ticked off at me at that for saying that. The fact is, I'm more concerned about having my family prepared for what is coming, having you guys prepared, try to light that fire underneath that rear end so you can see what is coming. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about this pro-Palestine protest in Washington, D.C. Hey, everybody as an American citizen has a right to protest here in America. Absolutely. It's one of our rights. But when I'm watching videos of them shaking the White House gates, attempting to climb the gates, throw things at Secret Service, and no, I'm not pro-Biden at all. I don't trust our government here in America one bit, but I'm seeing a push towards lawlessness, and I'm not going to say radical terrorism, but I am seeing more and more push that they're supporting a terrorist group. I mean, they actually had the flags, the yellow flags up, supporting terrorism. Yeah. Yelling out, Allah Akbar. Yeah. So what they're really wanting is not pro-Palestine peace. They want Allah Akbar, which is God is great, if I remember correctly from my schooling years ago. You know what? They want a jihadist war. That's it. You know, I keep on seeing photos of women. Some may be Middle Eastern descent, but some are just straight up, you know, out of Jersey or something like that. And when I see that, I think of Jihad Jinnah, you know, the ISIS brides. You guys remember those? Yeah. United States ran overseas, ran in Afghanistan, marrying ISIS, and then they realized that they screwed up. But it's okay because they were just 18 and they got indoctrinated in the colleges and their professors. More and more is coming. This is just, it's that boiling point. It's fixing to pop off, and I hope you guys are ready. I'm going to clip in a video here for you. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you listen now. I'm going to try to bleep out the foul language and let it roll. So with that, like I said, we as American citizens have a right to protest against a tyrannical government. That's part of the whole spill of us being Americans is keep government in check. I mean, don't tread on me is more than just a cool trend. It's been around for a while. It's about stopping government from pushing down, stepping down on our rights, our constitutional rights. Now, like I said, I'm not pro-Biden at all. I'm not pro any government. Even when Trump was running, I'm like, hey, watch him. He's a political figure. You don't trust any politics. I don't. It's up to you on that. Every time he follows some guy or some chick, some woman in a position of power, it always gets manipulated because that's mankind. In my opinion. I could be wrong. But when it comes to politics, it's always to push their further agendas. Yeah. I just want you guys to be aware of what's going on. I want you to really be pushing on prepping, getting prepared for what's happening. Some will sit there and look at it and go, hey, well, you know what? It's just a protest. It's no big deal. It's not like they really did anything. No one was harmed. No violence came out of this. I mean, they trashed the McDonald's, which, you know, I ain't too worried about that because I don't like McDonald's anyway. But it's still destruction of property. Okay? Still destruction of property. If this goes into a religious war, jihad, it's going to get bad here in the States. Groups will be activated. I'm not saying it will. If it does, you better have your stuff in order. This push and the censorship I'm seeing, if anybody speaks out against Israel by social media and news platform, comes crashing down. You know, there's more and more protests around the world right now against Israel bombing the Gaza Strip and stuff. I'm not here to pick any sides on this. I'm looking at it as a prepper, and I'm saying you need to get your family prepared and get ready for this. If you live in a large city where population demographics are, you know, more pro-Palestine on this sitting, you need to be having a way out if necessary. That's preppers we do. We always work on plans. I'm not saying that they will attack you because you're an American citizen or you're not part of their thing, but I will also say this much. I mean, when Hamas tore into Israel, I mean, they kidnapped Americans, other people, other nationalities, murdered them, tortured. So why would they not do that here if they're here? Just be prepared. Keep your head on a swivel. Get food stockpiled up. Get defensive weapons. Learn how to use them appropriately. Don't just buy a whole bunch of firearms and freedom seeds, put them in a closet and say you're prepared. You need to be training with it as much as possible. All right, and I don't mean just sit there and do quick draws and shoot at a target 30 yards away. You need to be working on actual training with your firearm, tactical movement, things of that nature. Learn how to do this. You know, there's a lot of civilian courses you can take, and there's a lot of former military that were actually infantrymen and special operators that actually have civilian classes that teach this stuff. I would recommend speaking with them before following blindly some YouTubers that shoot rounds and throw the butt of the pistol back in their chest because they watched John Wick too many times. I know you guys seen it. Hold on a second. This is what I'm referring to. I've used firearms my whole life. I grew up, actually first grade, I took my 22 to show and tell. Yeah, I live in the country and I'm old. They pull their firearm sidearm, snap it up, fire 2 shots. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I do not want that barrel close to my face ever. But I see more and more YouTubers, because, you know, John Wick pulls his guns up here, pow, 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 pow. I tell you what, don't do this, but I'll tell you what, you know, hold that thing right there and start squeezing that trigger. Sometimes you get hit in the face with a shell. Be careful what you watch on YouTube and make your preparedness plans on that. Anyway, guys, I just want you to be as prepared as possible. I encourage you to watch. There's actually several YouTubers I watch on a daily basis. They bring news and information that actually helps make my decision on my preparedness level between working as many hours as I'm working. And I know you guys are too. You're holding down jobs. Some of y'all are holding down 2 jobs and still trying to prepare as much as possible. Our time is precious. So my recommendations for YouTubers that I try to get news and information from are actual preppers. One is Brad over there, Full Spectrum Survival. I've been following his channel for a few years now. Brings great information that you can follow up. Next is, of course, Nate there at Canadian Prepper. I've been following him Probably the longest than any other prepping video YouTuber at all. And Marfugo TV and news. Those guys there, Adam and Dex, bring news and information you can follow up on. You can check it out yourself. They're bringing it to you. You can listen to it while you're busy with everything else. You can listen to it the next day at work. But news and information is something that we all need as preppers. It gives us an edge over other people when we just don't have time to stop and sit down with everything. Having a trusted news source, a YouTuber, that we can verify that they are actually speaking what they're reading, they're bringing the information to you, you can listen to it and go, okay, I don't have time to research this, but I do trust these guys because they got a great track record. All right? Always do your own research with anything, but those are my highest recommendations as far as news information as for preppers. And I did say they are preppers. A lot of people like to throw up fear-mongering and stuff like that because they see the title. And they throw that at me all the time. I'm probably one of the very few YouTubers that will cover topics and give you options and tell you, hey, don't freak out about this, but you do need to be prepared in case something bad does happen. But that makes me a fear-monger. But they label these other channels, the three I just named, fear-mongers and all this other stuff, because they made it on YouTube, because they're covering topics, because they use thumbnails to get your attention. Hey, I've been doing YouTube for 4 years, and I can look at my analytics. 67% of my viewers are not subscribers, and those viewers have the attention of a goldfish. Yeah, like 8 to 13 seconds into the video, and they click off. So yeah. Anyway, guys, keep on preparing. Get ready for this stuff. Your family depends on you. I see it all the time on my channel. People leave the comments, I'm preparing mentally. I'm preparing mentally. What you need to be doing is preparing your family for what's coming. Mental preparation, I've discussed this many times with all the training I've done out in the woods, being dropped off in the middle of freaking nowhere. No backup, no fail-safe. I am screwed if I screw up. Days on end. There's no mental preparedness. The only way you get mental prepared is doing it. Now you're prepared. Now you know what you're going to be facing. That's mental preparedness. But just sitting here talking about being mentally prepared, but you've never physically done it, that's not, you're not prepared. You're not prepared for squat. This is why I always pushed about training all the time. And this is why I'm a huge advocate of bugging out. You know why? Because I do it. I don't sit here and talk to you about philosophizing of what you can and cannot do to survive. About 92 to 93% of YouTubers on the preparedness community. I actually do. And I show you what does and does not work. As many different scenarios as possible. And always I put myself out there. Now, do I have a radio I can call out on if necessary? Sure. Only problem is it can take up to some of the locations I'm at 2 days to get to me. If I screw up, that's still not much of a safety net now, is it? Alright guys, you be safe, get your family prepared. I'll speak to y'all later.